Hello, my name is Keshwani. That's K-E-S-H-W-A-N-I, Keshwani. I have been solving math problems for GMAT out of this book here, the GMAT Review, the official guide. If you do not own this book already, purchase one immediately. You will find it at mba.com. The problem that I'm about to solve is the one that you will find on page number 180, problem solving number 202. Let's take a look at it. It says in the formula, right here is the formula, I wrote it down ahead of time. What happens to the value of v if r is halved? For example, whatever the value of r is now, if you have half as much as before, what will happen to the value of v? Well, when you're taking the exam, the very first thing you should do, the very first thing that you should always keep in mind is that you need to be alert. You have to be aware of your surrounding as to what's going on. Most people take the exam in a very geeky way, in a very nerdy way, like a freak, like a nerd. Don't do that. Think. You have to be alert. You have to be logical. Let me, for example, here, if I have a number here, if I tell you that a equals 1 over 10, and then if I take this, instead of 10, let's put down b here. A equals 1 over b. What do you suppose would happen to the value of a if the value of b is cut into half? For example, if a were 1 over 10, the new value will be 1 over 5. This is a new value. What happened to value, if value of b went from 10 to 5, I cut down the value of b in half, what happened to value of a? The old value used to be 1/10, 1 over 10, and the new value is 1/5. The value of a went up because 1/5 is bigger than 1/10. Why did the value of a go up? Because the denominator is smaller. By cutting the r down, the denominator is smaller. If the denominator is smaller, the whole fraction has to be larger, which means the value of v is going to be, the new value of v is going to be larger. The new value of v is going to be larger. In other words, the new value of v is going to be some multiple of the old value. It's not going to be some fraction of old value, it's going to be some multiple of old values. So the very first thing I'm going to do is get rid of the answer choices, which makes no sense. Which makes absolutely no sense. As I've said many times before, if you've been watching my clips in the past, as I've said many times before, when I'm taking the exam, I always write down A, B, C, D, E on my scratch paper for every single problem. When the problem appears on the screen, it does not have A, B, C, D, E written next to each of the answer choices, but I write it down myself. This is how I keep track of my work. And the very first thing I do is cross out the answer choices that are illogical, that make no sense. Here, for example, the new value, whatever it is, of v, is going to be some multiple of the old value. So I'm going to cross out e. It's not going to be some fraction of it. The new value is not going to be smaller than the old value. The new value is going to be larger because the denominator is going to be lower. I'm going to cross out d. And I'm also going to cross out c, because c says 1. If the new value of v were to be equal to 1 times the old value, what you're telling me is that nothing happened. Nothing happened to the value of v. Obviously something is going to happen to the value of v if I change the r. C makes no sense. The answer choice has to be either A or B. Now at this point, if you like, you can solve this problem in the classical way with the algebra, or you can just plug in numbers. I'm just going to plug in numbers. So I'm just going to make up a value for r. Say for example, in the beginning, I had 1 over 2 times 10. The value of r was 10. So I have 1 over 20, and 20 cubed, I'm going to quickly figure out. 20 times 20 is 400. I hope you know that. And 400 times 20 is going to give me 3 zeros. And then 2 times 4 is 8. So it's going to be 1 over 8,000. Let's see what happens to the value of v when I change it, when I cut down the value of r in half. 1 over 2 times 5. You see, instead of 10, I have 5 now. Let's see what happens. So I'm going to have 1 over 2 times 5 is 10, so it's 10 cubed, and 10 cubed is 1,000. So I went from 1 over 8,000 to 1 over 1,000. What happens to the value of v? The new value, this is a new value. The new v, which is 1 over 1,000, is equal to 8 times the old value. 8 times the old value. Why? Because 8 times 1 over 8,000, the old value, 8 times 1 over 8,000 is going to give me 1 over 1,000. Hence, the new value is 8 times the old value. The answer is B. The new value is not 1/8 of the old value, it is 8 times the old value. This is old. The new value is going to be some multiple of old value, not some fraction of it. That's all it is. Now, if you want to do it with the algebra, I'm going to show you here how to do it with the algebra. The answer is B, so I'm going to put it here. If you want to do it in the classical way, the traditional way, I'm going to show you here on this side here. The new value is going to be 1 over 2 times r over 2 cubed. Why r over 2? Because it used to be r. I'm taking half the value of r. Half the value of r is r over 2. So what happens? This 2 cancels out with this 2, and we end up with this 2 cancels out with that 2, and we end up with 1 over r cubed. Before we had 1 over 2r cubed, which is same as 1 over 2 cubed is 8r cubed. So we went from v being equal to 1 over 8r cubes to v being equal to 1 over r cubed. This amount is not 1/8 of this amount, it is 8 times this amount. This is the new one. So the new v, which is 1 over r cubed, is equal to 8 times the old value. Why? Because 8 times the old value, which is this, 1 over 8 times r cubed, the 8 is going to cancel out, and you end up with a new value. That's all it is. That's all. I hope you found it helpful. If you wish to hire my services for personal private tutoring, face-to-face tutoring, I'm located in Connecticut. Or if you wish to buy my DVDs in which I show you the solutions to all the math problems for GMAT, or I'm in the process of writing the book that I told you, so solution manuals which will have solutions to all the problems in the GMAT, all 400 problems, which is going to be down the road someplace. Anyway, in any of these scenarios, if you need to get hold of me, write me at send me an email at www.for4gmat.com. Go to my website and send me an email. Alright? Thank you.